Hi guys, celebrity stylist Elliot Garnaut here, and today I'm going to talk you through dressing for the members' enclosure for the Sydney Everest Carnival. The members' enclosure is much more traditionally focused, so making sure that you wear a suit and a tie for the gentlemen and a more refined dress for the ladies. For the ladies and the gents, allow me to take you through two key looks that I have styled that hit this dress code. For the ladies in the members, I always like to recommend something that's a little bit more demure. So your hemlines below your knees is a fantastic way to do it, as well as some covered shoulders. A great fun sleeve still makes this really sexy and really fabulous while still having a very traditional silhouette to it. But just because you're wearing something traditional, it doesn't mean that it can't be fun, and this all comes down to accessories. Obviously, this Rebecca Vallance dress is heavily embellished with this silver sparkle, so to really take it there and make it extra fun, pair it back with a matching shoe. We've done a metallic here, we've done a metallic here, but that she doesn't look like she's going to space, we've paired it back with a simple black hat. Millinery in the members can either be complementary or standout, and what I've done with this outfit is made sure that it's complementary. Because the dress is already a standout, use your millinery as a finishing touch instead of a focal point. If you have a simple dress, use your millinery as the focal point instead of the finishing touch. The members' enclosure is always successful when you dress a little bit more traditional, so a classic navy suit for the gents is a great way to go. To break up the darkness, a crisp white shirt will always make everything look very expensive, and then tying in both colors with a matching tie is a perfect way to bring uniformity overall. Now remember gents, you have to wear a tie or a bow tie and a jacket in the members as well. So make sure you've got your options to go back with your suits, and accessories maketh the look. So adding a pocket square, fantastic pair of shoes. I always like to put navy and black together, but you can always do navy and brown as well. A beautiful patent is a fantastic finisher to a classic navy suit. But guys, spring doesn't have to be about just traditional outfits as well. Remember, the weather's getting warmer, so you can play with your color, you can play with your fabrics. Linen is a really fantastic option when you're hitting the Sydney Everest Carnival too. Just to be sure that you've got the foundations in your wardrobe, a fantastic cut suit, a great white shirt, and the perfect shoe, you'll be good to go for any race day. So guys, there's actually no formal dress code for the general admission, but what I love about going to the races is it gives you an excuse to get dressed up. A fabulous way to incorporate what might already be in your wardrobe is turning your favorite silk scarf into a headband. What I've done here on Deshard is simply tied it underneath and parted the hair, which has created the illusion of a fantastic race-ready headband. From the perspective of uniformity, I love a tonal look. It is one of my favorite ways to style. And so what I've done is I've kept this all in the same color family of nudes and browns. So the nude shoe, the nude bag, the brown dress, the brown headscarf. Whilst not everything matches and there's some monogram here and there's some embellishment here, it's all in the same color story. So it looks like a more uniform look overall. And remember ladies, the Sydney Everest Carnival can get really hot. So sometimes people think more mid-length dresses and skirts when you're heading to the races, but the general admission is a great excuse to chuck on your favorite mini. For the guys, I always like to recommend a nice pair of chinos that you might already have in your wardrobe and pair it back with your favorite blazer. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to wear a tie. What I like to do is put a shirt back with no tie, good chinos, great blazer. Find something that you may already have and love in your wardrobe. For example, these casual white chinos are a great starting point for an outfit for the GA. Then I've put this burgundy jacket back on Nathan. It just gives him a little bit of elevation and finishing it off with a polished white shirt. But guys, remember, you don't necessarily have to wear a tie, but you still want to accessorize. I put a nice white pocket square to tie the shirt back in. It just gives it that little bit of elevation. And then you can wear sneakers if you want to, but I put it back with a fancy black shoe because you're at the races and you want to get dressed up. Remember guys, we're at the Sydney Everest Carnival, so 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be a warm day at the races. You should really consider your fabrics. On this outfit with Nathan, I've done a cotton chino and a cotton blazer. It's much more lightweight, it's much more breathable, so you'll be able to last the day in the outfit, but if you wanna take it off, roll up your shirt sleeves, you'll still have a really cool vibe. So each of the 4 key race days is actually themed around a specific color. One of the days is blue, one of the days is red, one of the days is gold, and one of the days is pink. So today I wanted to talk through styling a look for the Tab Everest, which focuses around the color blue. So there are many ways that you can dress to a color theme, and the easiest way is to do it by choosing that colored dress. So for the Tab Everest, the color is blue, and so we've styled Deshard back here in this gorgeous Cars and Patty dress. Some of you may like to do a monochromatic look from head to toe, which is a really fabulous option. I also like to break it up with contrasting accessories. So for this look, I've chosen black millinery and a black shoe. One way to finish every racing look perfectly is with the perfect pair of sunnies. Sunnies just add a slickness to the look that really encapsulate the fact that you're at a day event. They add a real sharpness that I absolutely love, and to me, they're the finishing touch. Remember guys, when you've got your accessories on, just make sure that everything is uniform so it tells the story correctly. So what I love about this is the black, and the black shoe ties that in really nicely. It doesn't distract from the dress, it complements the dress. It also allows the dress to do the talking and the accessories to do their own story too. Making sure all of your accessories match make things look considered. When you start to get things mismatched, it might look like you've just grabbed something from here and something from here. So my advice when styling your accessories back, being your hat, your sunglasses, and your shoes, is to keep them in the same color story to ensure that there's a uniform look overall. So there's been a lot of talk recently about the concept of quiet luxury, and to break it down for you, I've styled a look on our gorgeous model. What quiet luxury is essentially a return to the late 80s and early 90s where fashion was much more simple and much more elevated. So think of things more like classic cuts, a little bit more classic hemlines, bigger hats, simplified gold jewelry, think Princess Diana, think the royals of today as well. These people are the perfect mood boards for what is quiet luxury. So the key to nailing the quiet luxury or that timeless elegance trend is to make sure that you contemporize with the right accessories. So as you can see on Deshard, she's got a very classic neckline. This is playing ode to the 50s and the 60s, but what we've done is accessorize with contemporary gold jewelry to ensure that she looks like she's going to the races in 2024. Again, as I said in the opener, it's playing back to those icons of the 80s and the 90s. Princess Diana is always one that I love to reference, and so it's throwing back to these big gold chunky earrings that you can find in so many retailers now. Beautiful brooches. This is actually an earring, guys. So don't be afraid to play with what you've already got. It doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be a brooch to be worn as a brooch. You can pin an earring on and you can disguise it as a brooch. Another great option is the pins that are sold on the racetrack. You'll see these distributed around both Randwick and Rose Hill. They're a great option as an alternate to a brooch on your dress. Making sure your metals are uniform ensures a cohesive story overall. So as you can see here on Deshard, we've kept everything in gold. Gold, 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 and gold. And for the Golden Eagle, I couldn't think of anything better. Ladies, the ultimate balance of nailing this timeless elegance or this quiet luxury trend is just to make sure that you bring classic pieces against contemporary pieces. That is my key advice for making sure that you look current when heading to the track. And remember, ladies, it is springtime, so your millinery must suit the temperature in which you are attending. In the springtime, out come our beautiful straw hats. This trend plays really well into utilizing pieces that are from your existing wardrobe. You may have something that is a little bit more corporate oriented that you want to jazz up for the track, and this all comes down to finding the perfect accessories to separate it from the office. What I really love about this trend is the versatility. If you're planning on attending the big dance on Cup Day, you may be wearing something like this to the office with a blazer over it. All you need to do is lose the blazer, add a beautiful straw hat, some fabulous gold accessories, and you're ready to hit the track. So that was my favorite 2024 trend for the Sydney Everest Carnival. Expect it all, and I cannot wait to see you trackside.